All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the stream. We're gonna be doing tonight. We're gonna be doing a Halloween tier list. Okay, let's do it. Let's put on some spooky music. All right, yeah, check that. Okay, so the first movie we have here tonight. Let me turn that down a little bit. Okay, so we have right now we got 13 Ghosts. Yeah, I'm gonna turn that down a little bit. We got some music to fit the mood. Okay. So the first movie we have, so we got S tier. S tier is of course, goaded. Then we got A tier. A tier is good, like very good. B is this B is good, and then C is average, and then D is so we're gonna see. We got like 500 movies right now, all Halloween or horror movies. So we got 500 horror movies, and I'm gonna be ranking them from like the ones I've seen and the ones like I try to picture that I've seen. I haven't seen like picture them in my mind like I have seen them. So we're gonna do that. So the first movie we got, 13 Ghosts. I'm not even gonna lie, guys. I've never seen this movie, y'all. I've never seen 13 Ghosts, but I have. I can picture. I know what happens in it. It seems like a pretty good movie actually, because I think it came out in 2001 when it did come out. Into like you know it's distributed by Warner Brothers, but uh, yeah, but it's I might have to turn this music off, guys. Okay, there we go. Yeah, but 13 Ghosts, 13 Ghosts, I feel like it's gonna, let me see, you know what, to rank it. It looks, I see, according to like movie clips and trailers, it looks pretty cryptic. I mean, it's got a good plot where these ghosts, 13 ghosts in like the mansion and stuff. Like, it's kind of like Haunted Mansion, but it's like a darker version of, um, of that. So I would probably put 13 Ghosts in the C tier because I don't really know much about it. So I'm gonna put it in the C tier. Um, Seems like a pretty good movie, but then again, I haven't never really seen it like that. So next we got 1408. This movie is very good. Not much I can say about it. It's a Stephen King film adaptation of a Stephen King novel that he made, the 1408. It's about, I think John Cusack plays a man who checks into a hotel building or a motel. Samuel Jackson is like the kind of guy, he's the guy that's like kind of like over the motel, and he checks in, he starts seeing like these weird, like these horrific images going on, imagery going on, and it's a bunch of like demons and stuff going on, and it's really some cool stuff. And I think the most terrifying scene from this movie was when kind of like when John Cusack kind of like you know he saw himself being killed, like in a reflection in a mirror, like he saw a reflection outside the window, he saw himself being killed. That was the most terrifying crap I've ever seen in a horror movie, and this movie still stands up today. So I'm gonna probably put 1408 is a really good film, so I'm gonna put it in. Nope, get right there. I'm gonna put, I'm gonna put it in the A tier. It's good, it's very good, but it's not superior. So yeah, 1408. Yeah. So next we got 1922. I've never seen, this is the next Netflix movie. I've never seen this movie before in my life, but I think it's also a Stephen King adaptation, and I hear it's pretty good. I hear it's really good. I think it takes place in like a cornfield or something. Like it takes place in 1922, so it's gonna be like in around that time zone. But I feel like it's one of those films that kind of like got the whole murder plot, and you got this crazy murderer coming after you on a farm and stuff, and he's killing you, just like slicing you down. And it's got the tension that you want from a horror movie. So I'm gonna really think. I haven't seen this film, um, but I'm gonna have to put it. I'm gonna say I want to go with. I'm gonna probably put it in the A tier as well because I know it's good. It's got a good story around it. It's in 1922. Goes in the A tier with 1408. Um, 2001 Maniacs. I've never seen this film, but I can like list of back of what other people said of this film. Um, it looks cheesy. The movie poster looks cheesy, but it also for some reason for some strange reason it also looks like it's really good. Um, but it's got Robert Englund in it. Robert Englund is Freddy Krueger. If you guys don't know, um, but I feel like this movie, if is now that I know Robert Englund's in the movie, it looks pretty good. So I think it's one of those cheesy films. It looks cheap. The poster looks cheesy, but it looks like Robert Englund's in the movie. It's probably good because he's a freaking horror legend. Um, but I'm probably gonna put this movie probably in the B tier. It's not bad enough to put in the C tier as average, but I'm gonna probably put it in the B tier because then again I don't really know much about it, so I'm gonna put it in the B tier. So we got 28 days later. I don't really know anything about this movie except that it's like a pandemic movie. Like it's got like kind of like COVID-19. It's kind of like it's got this whole pandemic going down. A lot of people. It's like a virus breaking out. People are getting sick, turning into like you know these virus. They got a virus. They got like a zombie virus outbreak going on, and just like kind of like a zombie apocalypse. People are getting sick and they're getting infected. You know, and turning into these raging monsters. And I really think that's a pretty good you know plot for a horror movie. Um, and I think this looks really good. So 28 days later, I feel like it's got that whole action vibe to it. Pandemic. Then again, the movies. So I would probably put it in the A tier because I think it's good, but I haven't seen it yet to properly distinguish it. So 28 weeks later, same with this movie. I haven't seen, obviously, if I haven't seen 28 days later, I have obviously never seen 28 weeks later. Um, but I'd probably say one thing I can say, I'm going to just assume if the first movie was good, then the second movie probably, sometimes sequels don't really live up to the expectations of the first movie. So I'm probably going to say, um, I want to look up the Rotten Tomato scores on these movies, and pretty much I can base them off of the Rotten Tomato scores of these movies. Like right now, you know, let's actually look it up right now. 28 weeks later. Oh, 72% on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, okay. All right. Some of these other movies I haven't seen, I'm gonna have to base them off of Rotten Tomatoes, or I can look at the audience score. The audience score is 6.9 out of 10. That's pretty high. Um, so I'm gonna put this movie, the 28 days later. I put that in A tier. So I'm gonna put 28 weeks later also in A tier because those two movies kind of match up as well. So next movie we have 30 Days at Night, I believe. 30 Days at Night. Let's see. We're gonna the movies, like I said, the movies that I haven't seen. We're gonna base them off of. So we got 38. Oh, I said 38. 30 Days at Night. Okay. And this movie's got a 6.6 out of 10 audience score, and it's got a 51% Rotten Tomato score. That's not bad. That's not bad. It's talking about like a Alaska people. They regret their decision. Hungry vampires. Okay, hungry vampires. That seems interesting. It definitely seems like a film that can actually work in the horror aspect. You got the directors, the producers. They feel like I know what they were doing with this film, um, and they got a lot of stuff going on. Um, but yeah, I'm thinking I'm really thinking that this film is kind of like, that whole aspect of this film is kind of like, vampires and stuff. But I really think this film, I'm gonna say this film is not bad, but I'm gonna say since it's kind of good, it's gonna be average. It's gonna because it's got a pretty low Rotten Tomato score, but it's got a pretty high audience score. So I'm gonna put it in C tier. It's not bad, but it's not good either. So it's pretty much average. So 47 meters down Uncaged. I haven't seen 47 meters down Uncaged, but I have seen the original movie 47 meters down, um, which that movie was pretty good. It was a pretty good shark movie. It wasn't. It was no Jaws. It was no Jaws by a long shot, but it was definitely something like a modern shark movie. Like it was. It wasn't your Jaws. It wasn't your Deep Blue Sea. It was your typical shark movie, but with a modern take on it. And I really think the sequel maybe probably kind of like touched up or try to make something better from the original. So we're gonna go up from the Rotten Tomato score. See on Cage, and it's got right now it's got a 47% or 45% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's got a 5 out of 10 IMDb score. So I'm gonna say this movie, I gotta say, it looks pretty bad. So I'm gonna say it's got a 45%. I'm gonna probably put it in the D tier if it's people are saying it's bad. And then again, it's kind of like like a typical shark movie. It's kind of like copycatting like the success of the other shark movies. So it's gonna be like you know spamming and stuff, and you don't really have new ideas there. So I'm gonna put that in the D tier. Now we get to the original 47 meters down, and personally, now this is the first movie on this list, in this first row that I've actually seen. This movie is really a good. It's suspenseful. It's got likable characters. These two sisters, Mandy Moore is in the movie. She's a really underrated actress. And Mandy Moore, I feel like she was the only person that I knew that was in this movie, like one of the big stars. But she plays her role pretty well. Two sisters go to Mexico. They go on vacation to Mexico, and they go, of course, they go or snorkeling or something or underwater diving, and they go into a tank, and that's where the title of the movie goes in to 47 meters down because they're 47 meters below the ocean, like at the bottom of the ocean. And then the sharks come and, they are terrorized by the sharks, but it's got a really good feel to it. I feel like the director really knew what he was doing, but also the movie kind of get like drunks like drags down with the runtime and stuff. I don't think it's fairly short, but it's not very long either. Um, but I would also say that this movie is just your typical shark movie, but I feel like the original definitely does better than the sequel. So I'm gonna put it in the C tier. It's not bad, it's not good, but it's just kind of like in the frame of average. So here we go. So we got Alien and Alien. I had the original Alien. What is there to say about this film? This film is, I can tell you many facts about this film, but that's gonna make it. I could go on for hours about this film, but I'm not going to because of time, of course. But this film was made by this film was made by Scott Scott Ripley or yeah, Scott Ripley, I believe, made this film. Because at first I thought it was James Cameron, but it was Scott Ripley who made Blade Runner, I believe. Or let me see, I think that's his name, Scott Ripley. Yeah, Scott Scott Ripley. No, that's not Scott Ripley. No, no. Let me see. I said Scott Ripley. Yeah, let's see. Who done? Ridley Scott. Yeah, Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott made this film. And you look at that Rotten Tomatoes score, almost 100, 98%. The original Alien on Rotten Tomatoes, and Alien is one of the greatest horror movies of all time, no doubt about it. It's definitely perfect watch if you want to watch a sci-fi science fiction action horror movie. This is definitely the movie for you. The Xenomorphs are one of the greatest horror movie characters ever because they're deadly, they're mysterious, they are just kind of complex and stuff, and you start to know their backstory in the movie that came after the original Alien series, Prometheus. If y'all should check that movie out because that is like a kind of like a prequel to the original Alien saga. Um, but Prometheus is kind of like a prequel of the Xenomorphs and stuff like that, and different, kind of lore, alien lore of the Alien series. And Sigourney Weaver as Ellen Ripley is she's one of the greatest, protagonists in horror movie history, and everybody loves her. And I think she does an excellent job. And the supporting cast, you got um, John Hurt, or William Hurt, or John Hurt, I believe, and Yaphet Kotto, and many other people. But yeah, this movie really shines with that. And the chest burster scene, top tier. But the original Alien, or yeah, the original Alien, yeah, the top tier, top tier. I hope that's not Alien. Is that Alien 3? I hope that's not Alien 3 because, yeah, that looks like. I think, yeah, dude, I just described Alien 3. Yeah. So Alien 3 was okay. I'm going to put, that's Alien 3. I didn't even realize they didn't have the original Alien up here. Nah, yeah, this is the original. So I just described, this is the original Alien right here. I just described Alien 3. That's Alien 3. So Alien 3 goes in C tier. So there's not really much to say about Alien 3. Alien 3 is cool, and they brought back Sigourney Weaver. She shaved her head, and it's cool. It's a cool action. It is Alien 3 kind of like puts up the plots of the first two movies, and they combine them together um, to make it feel more serene. So I say Alien 3 is kind of like you have the same beats. They're, deserted on a planet or in space and stuff, and they're trying to fight the xenomorphs. But yeah, I think, yeah, definitely up there. The Alien Covenant. I've never seen Alien Covenant before, but I've heard that it's pretty good. Um, and it's got the whole modern update to the xenomorphs, and I think it's the most recent Alien movie to date right now till they come out with a like a new Alien film. But I heard Alien Covenant was pretty good. And it wasn't bad, but not by a long shot. But I heard it's got some good visuals. It improves on the effects from the first movie that came out in '79, and this movie came out in 2017. So that's about like 79, 2017. That's like freaking almost 39. That's 40, 39, 30 something years difference, 30-year difference from the original Alien. So I'm gonna put Alien Covenant in the um You know what? I'm gonna put Alien Covenant in the A tier because I heard it was a really good film and it's kind of touched on the original, has some original beats to it. So next we got Alien Resurrection. Now I've never seen this film. No, I'm just joking. I've seen this film. This film has, of course, it's got Sigourney Weaver in it again, and the next I think it brings in Winona Ryder into the cast, and she does a pretty good job. I mean, I think they started making clones. They made a clone of Ripley because she died in one of the other movies. They made a clone of her. So they made a clone of Sigourney Weaver and kind of like had to touch on the Ripley character, but the xenomorphs are fighting back and stuff, and they're discovering like different parts of. And then they got like this big army military force to stop the xenomorphs. But I'm gonna say I don't think I really enjoy Alien Resurrection. I mean the first three were or the first two were freaking masterpieces. First two were masterpieces. And the third one was okay. The fourth one, I just can't really get behind it. But Alien Resurrection, I just didn't really enjoy it that well. So I'm gonna put that in the D tier, because honestly, you can't really outdo the original or the second one. So next we got AV Alien versus Predator. Now this movie this movie should be great. You got you're pinning two of the greatest horror movie characters. You got the alien, the xenomorph versus the predator. The predator and the aliens franchises meet together and they have a collaboration movie. You think this would be years in the making right here, and they kind of ruined it, because I feel like this movie is just like a easy cash grab, just a cash grab. At the end of the day, you got Alien versus Predator. That's like a dream match right there. And they finally got to make this movie, put it on screen, and it kind of the ending result was just complete garbage. So I really think that this movie, now the original um, Alien versus Predator, it was okay, but this movie Alien versus Predator Requiem, yeah, this movie was hot garbage, just completely wasted time, and I feel like it just really just doesn't know what kind of movie it is. They don't care. It's just I feel like it's just complete hot garbage. So this movie is definitely D tier for me. Um, oop, get out of there. Now we got Aliens. Like I told you guys, I told you Alien 1 was a masterpiece. Aliens 2 touched on Alien 1 and it did it perfectly. This movie, the first Alien was like kind of like it had a different feel to it. It kind of like was a different genre as a whole because the first movie came out in 79 and it felt like this mystery, people getting killed, the crew members getting killed off on the ship and people dying at like the dinner table. It was crazy. People getting like eggs, like chest bursted and eggs on the alien eggs on their chest and stuff. And this movie was like kind of like an action sci-fi, you know, extravaganza. In this movie, aliens kind of. My favorite line from this movie is my favorite scene from this movie is when Sigourney Weaver she comes out and the Queen Xenomorph is right there. She's trying to attack the little girl, and Sigourney Weaver she comes out with this big tractor suit with these like giant robot claws, and she says, "Get away from her, you bitch." And that was so badass, dude. I love that line, and I think it's one of the greatest one-liners ever. And that's what makes this movie so special, to me. And it came out in 1986. And a lot of good 80s horror movies were coming out at that time, and this movie was just kind of like the blend of horror and action and sci-fi, science fiction, and I really like this movie. This movie is awesome, and the flamethrowers as well that this movie possesses. The flamethrowers. This is Aliens is definitely also is gonna be the second S tier movie on this list. So we're putting Alien, the original Alien, and Aliens in the S tier. Okay, so we got American Psycho 2. Now, I've never seen this film. Y'all don't get on to me. Mila Kunis, I love Mila Kunis. She is a very talented actress. I love her as Meg on Family Guy. And she's a very beautiful woman. But I would say this movie is kind of like same with AVP, Alien versus Predator. This movie is just a cash grab at the end of the day. Let's be honest. This movie is just a cash grab because, I mean, let's be honest. Nobody's checking this out. I mean, this movie came out. I don't know when it came out. I want to assume. Let me see. I check it out. Hold on. See, American Psycho. I spell psycho wrong. Psycho is one of those words that you just get really wrong all the time. Ooh, 11, yep, 11% on Rotten Tomatoes, 3.7 out of 10. Rachel, I think that's her name. Yeah, Rachel. Yeah, dude, this movie just, I feel like it's just a cash grab on the original American Psycho with Christian Bale. Like, that movie is one of the greatest horror movies ever made, in my opinion. And it came out in 2000, like the new generation of horror movies. And this movie is just a bland sequel, in my opinion. And Mila Kunis, she does her best, but she just doesn't really. She's not really a good, you know, predecessor to the original, 2000 American Psycho with Christian Bale, because Christian Bale made that movie with his design of Patrick Bateman and his character development with Patrick Bateman and what he does on a daily basis and his obsession with listening to Huey Lewis and the news while he literally straight up murders people. Um, and I just really think, and his freaking, if you don't follow Patrick Bateman's morning routine, what you doing, man? Follow the routine, bro. Put that freaking face cleanser, put that face mask on your face. But yeah, dude, this movie is just I feel like American Psycho. Mila Kunis, I know she tried her best, but this movie is just at the end of the day, it's just another sequel, another horror sequel to a successful film. So yeah, I'm gonna put this in the D tier. So we got the original American Psycho. I just talked about this film. This movie is just one of the greatest, and I don't think it really needs an explanation. This movie is funny and is terrifying and is utterly charming. Christian Bale is an he's an actor that you can just call like that. Tell him that, hey Christian, you want to do a movie? He said, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And I heard Christian Bale, he just goes into these roles, like he commits, and he goes to method and stuff, and he really adapts to his characters. I know one of his movies, he lost about I think he lost like 100 pounds for his one of his roles or something. He like pretty much lost weight for one of his roles, like lost a tremendous amount of weight, and then he gained some weight for one of his other roles. But Christian Bale, yeah, Christian Bale really, he embodies like the character of Patrick Bateman, and I feel like that's why this movie really works. And it's something else. Like Patrick Bateman is a really interesting character, and you can't go really go wrong with this movie. So I'm gonna put American Psycho in the S tier. This movie is truly great. I love this movie. Um, but it's super awesome. Okay, so we got American Werewolf in London. If you heard this song, oh, werewolves in London, you already know. This movie is a comedy, a horror comedy, and I feel like it really works because it's about an American teen and he turns into a werewolf and he's in London. So that's the American um, Werewolf in London, and I think this film really works because of the whole comedy and element. And I haven't really seen this film. I haven't never seen this film, but I can say that it's a pretty decent film. I love it. It's good for the 80s or 70s or whenever it came out. So I'm gonna put it in the B tier with 2001 Maniacs, I believe, or something like that. Um, and we got American Werewolf in Paris. So this movie I've never seen. Um, but we can go on the Rotten Tomato score and look it up and see whatever Rotten Tomato score it is. We can just go from there. 1997. Okay, it was 7%. Yep, there we go. So I have my answer. My question has been answered, so we're gonna put that in the D tier. Not really much to say about this film. This film is its Rotten Tomato score 7%, just complete, um, complete early stupid stuff. So we got the Amityville Horror 1979. This movie is really good because I know it has like a house of spirits, like this old house of spirits, but I've never seen this movie. Um, and I heard it's pretty dark. So the Amityville Horror. I can't really pronounce it. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Um, yeah, 1979. It's like a whole franchise. It's got a 6.2 out of 10 IMDb score, but it's got a 31% Rotten Tomatoes. So I can technically say that this movie is actually really good, but it's not good, but it's not bad. So I'm gonna put this movie in um the original Amityville Horror from 1979 in the C tier with the other selections over there. So we got the Amityville 2, The Possession, and I've never seen this film, just like other, the original. So we're looking at that. Oh, I think I just passed it. Okay. Yep. Okay, so this movie's not any better. It's got a 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb, and it's got a 24% on Rotten Tomatoes. So I can say this film is kind of dookie. I'm not even gonna lie, it's kind of bad. So we're gonna put this in the D tier with um, right here. Okay, so we got the Amityville 3D. So we're gonna put that. Let's see. Let me check that in. That probably looks like it's freaking trash. So 1983. Okay, so 18%. Like I said, 4.2 out of 10. IMDb score, not much better. Um, so that's going to go in the D tier with the second movie. Okay, so we got the remake, the 2005 remake, the Amityville Horror 2005 remake. I believe Ryan Reynolds is in this movie. That's the only thing I remember about this film, the remake. Sometimes remakes work, but recent like early 2000 horror movie remakes just don't really work. I mean, you see now the House of Wax and um like Prom Night and like other Carrie, the Carrie remake, that was kind of trash. I'm not even gonna lie. The Carrie remake with Chloe Grace Moretz, they really tried, but it just the CGI, the special effects are terrible, dude. I just can't really get with it. And they have an advantage. It's kind of hard to make like a remake from a classic horror movie, but yeah, Ryan Reynolds is in this film. Um, Yeah, he is definitely in this film. This movie got a 5.9 out of 10 IMDb score, but it's got a 24%. So I'm gonna say this movie is in the D tier as well as the um well, you know what? I'm actually gonna put yeah, no, yeah, I'm gonna put this film in the D tier. Yeah, it just the original gets kind of points because it had like a pretty okay IMDb score. So Anaconda, this movie is really good because it's got a good cast. It's got a great cast. It's got Ice Cube, John Voight. Um, it's got Jennifer Lopez. Owen Wilson is in this movie. And this movie is a really cool movie. I feel like it's not a good movie, but it's not a horrible movie. It's kind of it's so good. It's so bad that you just want to so like it's so bad that it's good. Um, and some of the kills are the CGI is kind of wonky because it came out in '97, but I think the overall film is kind of cool because you got a giant anaconda that's killing people and eating them. And I think that's a pretty good plot for a movie. If you're making a horror movie about a giant anaconda snake, and I feel like it's really something else. I think it's different. It's definitely different, but I'm gonna definitely say Anaconda. I'm gonna put it in the C tier because it's not bad, but it's not good either. So it's definitely gonna be average for me. Um, Anaconda. So we got Annabelle Creation. So I've never seen Annabelle Creation, but I can say that it was really good in the Conjuring universe with the whole Annabelle doll. So I believe Annabelle Creation is kind of like the prequel to the original Annabelle, which I saw recently at my uncle's house for the first time. And I believe Annabelle Creation is kind of like a prequel to The Conjuring and Annabelle. It's a prequel of the actual little girl Annabelle who died, and her spirit was kind of like trapped inside the doll. So I'm gonna say this movie is really good. Definitely a mass improvement over the original Annabelle, and it kind of like ties into the Conjuring universe and stuff with those movies. And I really think it's a really good. I think it's a really good film. I would say I can just base it off of the Rotten Tomato score because I've never seen it before, but I've seen the original Annabelle. And Annabelle, yeah, it's got a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 6.5 out of 10 IMDb score. So I'm gonna put it in the I'm gonna definitely put it in the I'm gonna put it in the B tier because it's a good film. So I'm gonna put Annabelle Creation in the B tier. I know I might get a little hate for that. And same thing with Annabelle Comes Home. Annabelle Comes Home is the third film in the Annabelle series, and like maybe about like the I think like maybe about the fifth Conjuring movie in the Conjuring universe. Um, but yeah, the Annabelle Comes Home is really good from the original Annabelle because the um yeah, Annabelle Comes Home. I can look at that Rotten Tomato score is 64% Rotten Tomato, but it's got a 5.9 out of 10 um audience score or IDMB score. Um, but I can say it's definitely I can put honestly I'm the same with Annabelle Creation. I'm gonna put Annabelle Comes Home in the B tier because it's a pretty good film. I mean it's decent. Oh, did not want to drag Annabelle. So the original, well, we have the original Annabelle. I've actually seen this film, so I can kind of like make my own opinion about this film. Obviously, this film is not good. It's not great. Um, like they set up the Annabelle doll perfectly in the Conjuring. I think they set her up better in that in the Conjuring. The Conjuring is one of the greatest horror movies ever made, in my opinion, and they kind of set up like the whole. backstory of the Annabelle doll, why she's in that kind of in that box and stuff, and her evil spirit and stuff is trapped by Ed and Lorraine Warren. Um, and I feel like this movie is kind of a it's kind of boring, to be honest. I mean, it's got a couple of good jump scares and stuff in it. I'm not gonna lie, it takes place in like the 30s or the 20s or something like that. Because it's pretty much a prequel to The Conjuring. It's a prequel of the Annabelle doll, but Annabelle Creation is a prequel to what's the name? It's a prequel to the original. It's a prequel to the original Annabelle. Annabelle Creation is a prequel to the original Annabelle. Um, but I think this movie is kind of bland, but it works. I feel like it's not good, but it's not bad. So I'm probably gonna put this movie. I have a personal opinion of this movie, so I'm probably gonna put it in the C tier because I mean it works. I mean this Annabelle's first film, so you know you kind of have a little bit to go on with it. But yeah, this movie is it's okay. I mean, in my opinion, it's not great, but yeah. So we got next movie we got Natalie Portman in um Annihilation. And I believe this movie Annihilation, I've never seen this movie, but I heard it's really good. Like a science fiction film. We can just put we can just go with a tomato score. Um Annihilation. Annihilation has an 88%, and it's got a oh wow, it's got a stacked cast, dude. It's got a really stacked cast. Um, it's got a 6.8 out of 10 IMDb score. Yeah, and Annihilation. It's a science fiction, like I said. So it's got an 88 Rotten Tomatoes score. So I'm gonna put Annihilation. I want to put it in the S tier, but um, I'm gonna put Annihilation in the A tier because just because it would be in the S tier if it had a higher, but since it's 88, I'm gonna put it in the A tier because you know it is it's cool. It's a good movie. It's not terrible. Um, so next movie we have Antlers. I've never seen this movie. I don't know really much about it, so I can just go off the Rotten Tomato score or the audience score. Um, this is a 2021. It's got a 59% Rotten Tomato score and a 5.9 out of 10 IMDb score. And Guillermo del Toro direct or produced this movie. That's different, man. Um, so I'm gonna probably put this movie. This movie got a it's almost got a 60% Rotten Tomato score. Um, but then again, you can see how low the audience score is. So I'm gonna probably put this movie in. Um, I'm gonna put this movie in the C tier because it's not bad, but it's not good either. So I'm just gonna put this movie in the C tier with the rest of them. And this is Antlers. So next movie we have Apollo 18. I've never seen this movie before. We got a bunch of horror movies up here. We got a bunch of them. It's gonna be a long time. We got Apollo 18. I might do a part two of this, just because this is time consuming. This we got 500 movies, y'all. Yeah, 24%. And don't get confused with Apollo 13 because that's a completely different film. This is a 24% Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, that's in a 5.2 out of 10 IMDb score. So yeah, this movie is definitely going in the crappy tier, the D tier. Yep. So next we have Apartment Pupil, I believe. I've never seen this film. Um, yeah, Apartment Pupil. I've never seen this film, so we're gonna rank this film just based on its Rotten Tomatoes score. 1998. Okay. Oh, David Schwimmer is Ian McKellen and David Schwimmer is in this movie. That's interesting. Um, it's got a 53% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's got a 6.7 out of 10 IMDb score. Okay, well, that's not bad, but that's not good. It's got a pretty decent IMDb score. It's got a pretty bad Rotten Tomato score, so I'm gonna probably give it like probably like same. It's not bad, but it's not good either. Um, I'm gonna put it in the C tier. That's average. So yeah. So next we have as above, so below. Um, I haven't seen this movie before at all. Um, Let me see, check it out. So I'm thinking about checking it out. I've never seen it before. Um, as above, so below. Oh, it's a 2014 film. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, this is definitely going in the crappy tier. But it's got a pretty good IMDb score, but it's got a pretty bad Rotten Tomato score. It's a 6.2 out of 10. People liked it, and 28% Rotten Tomatoes. So I'm gonna probably. So people gave it. So this film is, like I said, it's not bad, but it's not good either. So I'm gonna put this film. It's got a pretty good audience score. So I don't care what the critics say. If it's got a low IMDb score and a low Rotten Tomato score, yeah, it's definitely going in the D tier. Um, so I'm gonna put yes. So I'm gonna put this in the C tier because it was well liked by the audience enough to put it in the C tier. So I'm gonna put that in the C tier. Um, so we got ATM. Um, Let me check ATM out. I've never heard of this film. Oh, so 2012. Let's check it out. Ooh, okay, crappy films again. So we got a 12% Rotten Tomatoes and a 4.7 out of 10. So that's definitely going in the D tier. ATM. That is definitely a trash film. Um, I'll put that in the D tier. Okay. So we have Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Now, look at me. Look at me, y'all. This movie is a joke. Not even gonna lie. It looks like a joke, but we're gonna look at it. I'm gonna look at the Rotten Tomato score. I haven't seen this film, but I know it's about killer tomatoes. Attack of see Killer Tomatoes, 1978. Okay, 27% Rotten Tomatoes. Like I said, it looks like a joke, and it is a joke. So, um, I'm gonna put this in the D tier because whatever. Um, yeah, this film is definitely trash. Yeah, so Rotten Tomatoes is crappy. So next we have the autopsy, autopsy of Jane Doe. So I've never seen this film, but I know it's like an exorcism. I think it's like, or actually no, it's an autopsy. It's like a surgery on a dead person. Um, so I think it's got to be something demonic. I mean, I figure it's something demonic. I mean, you're doing surgery on a dead person. It's definitely got to be demonic. 2016. Okay, wow. Wow, this movie's got an 86% on Rotten Tomatoes and it's got a 6.8 out of 10 IMDb score. That's not bad, dude. That's awesome. So I'm gonna put this movie in. This movie is it's got an 86% and it's got a high IMDb score. So I'm gonna definitely put it in the A tier. Um, with Annihilation because I think it works because it's like a demon possession. Yeah, I'm gonna put this movie in the A tier. Um, Or actually, no, I'm gonna put it in the B tier because I'm gonna put low 80s. The low 80s is gonna be like actually no, I take it back. Now I'm gonna put it in the A tier. No, I'm gonna put it in the B tier. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the B tier. Yeah, I'm putting it in the B tier. Yeah. So Autopsy of Jane Doe. So we got the original Alien versus Predator. This film is I talked to y'all about it. It's got like action. This is the first Alien versus Predator. I mean, obviously Requiem was trash. Everybody knows that, but um, I've never actually seen Alien versus Predator. Um, but I can tell you that this film is kind of it's kind of okay. I mean, there's got some action there, and the fight sequences are okay. Like the Predator is kind of fuzzy because he got the whole X-ray vision thing going on, but um, I can just go off of this and say that this movie came out, so it's got a 22% Rotten Tomatoes. So I'm gonna say this movie, and let's see what kind of it's got a 5.7 out of 10 IMDb score. Um, so I'm gonna say this film is not it's not good. Yeah, this film is not good at all, guys. I mean, it's okay. That's what I'm saying. It's okay, but it's not good. Um, it's just like Requiem. It's just like Requiem, if not worse. Yeah, it's just like Requiem. So AVP, we got AVP and AVP Requiem in the D tier. Um, yeah, this film is it's just not good, y'all. It's just not good. So yeah, so we got our little list right there. Oh, we got see what that's what I'm saying, guys. We got a bunch of other movies left. We got 500 movies. I just want to do another list of these movies and continue it. Um, but yeah, so we got the Babadook or the Babadook. Um, the Babadook. I've never seen this film, but it's an English British film, I believe. I'm just looking up at the Rotten Tomatoes score. The Babadook. Wow. The Babadook has a 98% Rotten Tomatoes. That's amazing. 6.8 out of 10. I heard it was good, but I didn't know how good it was. But yeah, well, now we know. Putting the Babadook in the S tier. That's the first, that's the, actually the fourth S tier movie that we put. Oh, dang, it's acting up. Crap. It's acting up. Okay. No, come on. Don't act up, please. Dang, I hate when this thing happens like that. It's just like the mouse acts up. Okay, we go. Okay, so the Babadook is S tier. We're putting the Babadook in S tier because it works like that. I mean, it's a really good film. I mean, you can see that from the 98% rating of Rotten Tomatoes. So let's get past that. But next up, we have The Babysitter, and I've actually seen this film and its sequel, Babysitter, or The Babysitter Killer Queen. And this movie is really something else. I mean, I love this film. This film is very entertaining to me. I like it a lot. It's got some really good set pieces in it. It's got a good cast. I mean, Samara Weaving, Hugo Weaving's niece, she does a really good job as the, part of the babysitter. She's the titular babysitter. She babysits this kid, this teenage boy, and he's kind of having he's kind of having these problems at school, getting bullied, getting picked on. Um, and she kind of like brings him out of his comfort zone, and she's like so supposed to be the best person ever, and then she's got her own crew of friends that she's got like King Botch is like one of her friends, and um the dude, I think the dude who plays Green Arrow, his brother is, or his his cousin, his cousin or his brother. His cousin is the one of the friends, and the Asian girl from Pitch Perfect is in this movie, and Bella Thorne is in this movie as well. As you can see from the poster, her fine self. Um, Bella Thorne is in this movie. She's like a cheerleader or something, and this movie is really good. I like this film. It's made by McG, so I really like this film a lot, and you can tell by my like the Netflix horror movies, like they don't make them like they used to. This movie came out in 2017, and I saw it for the first time 4 years ago. With my one of my friends, I saw it for the first time, and I really personally I really enjoy this film. So I'm gonna put this film. This is a personal opinion. I don't care what the Rotten Tomato score says. I'm putting it in the A tier because I really enjoyed this film. And it doesn't have my respect to put it in the S tier, of course, but it's definitely an A tier film for me, in my opinion. So next up we have Bait. We can base that off of the Rotten Tomato score. Um, yeah, let's check it out because I've never seen it. It looks like a shark movie. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so it's got a 44% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's got a 5.2 out of 10 on IMDb. Okay, so I feel like, yep, it definitely is definitely going in a D tier because it has a super low, um, rating, and um, it's got an IMDb score of 5.2. So yeah, if you get that, you know your film is pretty lousy. So yeah, Bait is definitely going in there. So next we have Barbarian. Now I heard about this film. This film, people said this film on Facebook. People said this film was really good, and I hear Justin Long is in this movie. Justin Long was like in the original Jeepers Creepers, and I heard that they said he did an excellent job in this movie. Um, but I heard a lot of people on Facebook said this film was really good. Yep, yep. 93% Rotten Tomatoes. That's awesome. And it's got a 7 out of 10 IMDb score. Yeah, so this movie is definitely going in the S tier. Or this film is definitely going in the S tier. So we're gonna put Barbarian in the S tier with the Babadook and Aliens. Yeah, so this movie is definitely going in the S tier. So we got Basket Case 2. Um, I don't know what to say about this movie. This movie is crappy. I mean, it's about like killer monsters in a basket. It's about this is about Beguile or whatever his name is. He's like an abomination. He is just he's a cool little fella. I mean, some people find him cute, but he's just a freaking monster in a basket, man. I mean, not really much. And then this man gets kids later down the line. I just really don't. This movie is just so trash. It's so bad. Basket Case 2 is definitely D tier. Basket Case 3, D tier as well. This movie just it's not any better than the second movie. They're both trash. Except Basket Case, the first Basket Case. Okay, so this movie, or I might say this movie is trash. I gotta look at it because it might be trash. It might be trash like the second one and the third one. It might have a higher score. You never know. See, nah, not Green Day. I love Green Day. Wow, the original Basket Case got a 77% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 6.2 out of 10 IMDb score. Wow, that's crazy, y'all. That is insane. Well, I can say Basket Case. Definitely. Since it's got a 77% Rotten Tomato score alone, I can put it in the. Honestly, I can just put in the B tier, man. I can put it in the B tier because it got a pretty good score. So the original basket, I knew the original Basket Case was gonna be good, but the other two are just straight booty cheese. It's straight garbage. So next movie we got. It looks like it says Bats. Does that say Bats? Yeah, Bats. Yeah, get Bats. Okay, that's what it says. Okay, so we got Bats. Okay, 1999. Let's see what this film got. 18%. Yeah, and you see why. Yeah, you see why. 4 out of 10. Yep, this movie is garbage. Yep, 18 out of 10. Yeah, bats. You think a film about bats would be scary, but nah, it don't work. It don't work. It just don't work. Baby, it don't work. So next we got Becky. I don't know about this film either, but we can look at the Rotten Tomato score and find out. Okay, 72, and it's got a 6 out of 10. It's got a 6 out of 10. Um, yeah, it's got a 6 out of 10 IMDb score. Okay, so we got Becky. All right, and Becky and Kevin James is in this movie as well. So yeah, Kevin James is always a treat. So I'm gonna put this movie in the B tier because it's got a 72% on Rotten Tomatoes and a pretty good IMDb score as well. Um, so yeah. So we got the Wrath of Becky. It's the sequel, and wow, it did even better. Did even better than the original. It's got a 86% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 6.1 out of 10 on IMDb. Um, so yeah, so I'm gonna put the sequel. The sequel did really good, so I'm gonna put the sequel in the A tier. Yeah, I'm gonna put the sequel in the A tier because yeah, the Wrath of Becky did better than the original Becky. So yeah. So next we have Before I Wake. Um, I've never seen this film. I don't know what the heck it's about, but we about to check it out. Look at yeah, look, I can see all these movies on. It's 2016. Let's see. 67. Okay, 67% Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, not bad at all. It's got a 6.2 out of 10 IMDb score. And it's on Netflix. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna put this movie in the I'll put it in the B tier. It's got a pretty good it's got a pretty good I'm gonna put it in the B tier because, just because. Yeah, so I would put that movie in the B tier. So we got Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. Is that what that says? Yeah, Behind the Mask. I heard that movie is pretty good. Trying to see what I've never seen this movie, but I've heard it's pretty good. And yeah, it's definitely good. It's got a 76% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's got a 6.7 out of 10 on IMDb. So I'm gonna put this movie in the B tier as well because I think it's yeah yeah. So I'm gonna put this movie in the B tier as well. Behind the Mask, the Leslie Vernon story. Yeah. Uh huh. So that movie's gonna go in there into the B tier. So next up, we got the Belko Experiment. Now I love this movie. This movie is cool to me because it's got a whole premise of people working in the office and they kind of every employee had a explosive put in their head and um I think the premise is like people in the job center they killing people and this and stuff and it's really crazy, bro, because they're all working and stuff and whoever doesn't kill anybody their head explodes and stuff and I think the last person standing, they gotta fight other people in his predicament. But I really think the Belko experiment. I love this movie. I like it a lot. I like the premise. I like the some of the characters are douchebags, but that's the premise. Um, but I really like this movie. This movie is really cool to me. Um, and I think it's really good. So I'm gonna put honestly, I like it a lot to put in A tier or B tier. But since I haven't really seen much of it lately, a sequel, I'm gonna put it in the B tier. I'm gonna put the Belko Experiment in the B tier. To be honest with you, I'm gonna put it in. You know what? Nah, freaked out. Putting it in the A tier. Belko Experiment in the A tier. Yeah. So next we got Better Watch Out. Now I've never seen this movie. Um, we could just go by the Rotten Tomato score. Um, Better Watch Out, 2016 film. Let's check it out. Oh, it's got an 89% Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, okay. Well, not bad. Well, this movie and it's got a 6.5 out of 10 um, IMDb score. So it is definitely going into the A tier. Yeah, and it's a Christmas horror movie as well. So you get ready for that trend on this list. It's a Christmas horror movie. Um, so we got Better Watch Out is going into the A tier with these other films. So yeah, it's got an 89% Rotten Tomatoes. So yeah, it's definitely going in A tier. Bird Box. This is another movie I've seen already. Bird Box. I don't really need to say anything about this movie. This movie is incredible. It's one of the biggest. It's one of the biggest. I think it's the biggest Netflix movie or the most watched Netflix movie of all time. The next most watched Netflix original film of all time. And it really because it came out in 2018. People were doing the Bird Box challenge and stuff, and this movie really captured that. I love this movie. It's got a really good premise. Sandra Bullock is always great. You know, this movie's got a really good supporting cast in it. Um, and I really think it does things well. And I mean, you know, Sandra Bullock, of course, she's a very talented actress, and she really brings this into the role. You know, as this woman who is like in this Oh, that scared the crap out of me. My bad. I'm getting spooked there already. Um, but yeah, this movie made like a bunch of money at the box office. And it was, kind of like the pinnacle of horror. And I like the premise of this movie. It's got like a bunch of blind people or people who can't see because they're blindfolded and they're chosen to kill other people and stuff. And I really think this movie works. This movie is just definitely so good. Um, that it works and stuff, and I really like it, man. I like it a lot. It's awesome. So yeah, this movie is definitely going in to the S tier in my opinion. This movie is really good and entertaining. And I think Bird Box is definitely going in S tier for me. So next up we have The Birds, Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. And Alfred Hitchcock is one of the greatest horror movie directors to ever live. He's made quite a bit of course he made Psycho. Everybody knows that. And yeah, we've seen The Birds. I've never seen The Birds, but I heard it's influential and um, yeah, 94%, 7.6 out of 10, 94%. And The Birds came out in 1963, and you see the birds right there. But yeah, I know the premise of it is a bunch of birds attacking people. Um, but yeah, The Birds is going into S tier, definitely, definitely going into S tier, in my opinion. And yeah, so we got the original 1974 The Black Christmas. 1974 Black Christmas. Um, and yeah, I've seen this film. This film is awesome. I've seen a little bit of it, but I know the killer is a Christmas horror movie. And I think this film honestly was the first film I think that kind of like invented the slasher subgenre in horror because Halloween did it like 4 years later with Halloween Michael Myers and stuff. But I really think this movie kind of like invented the whole slasher genre subgenre of horror, and I think it really works. This movie's got a really good cast and stuff. It's got a bunch of Canadian actors and actresses in it. It's got Margot Kidder's in this movie as well. Future Lois Lane, Superman and stuff. She's in this movie. I think this is about the. I think this is the first thing I saw her in, or the first movie I saw her in before she was Lois Lane. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely put this movie. This movie got 72% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's got a 7.1 out of 10 IMDb score. So I'm gonna put this movie in the A tier, because man, this movie is just so influential to the horror community, and so I'm gonna say the original Black Christmas is definitely a classic. Um, and then we got the 2006 remake, I believe, the 2006 remake of Black Christmas. They call it Black Xmas. Um, yeah, dude, I really don't really. I've never seen this movie, but I heard it's got. I think it's got a Mary Elizabeth Winstead in it. Lacey Chabert, Lacey Chabert, I believe. I believe she was in Mean Girls. I believe. I think she was in Mean Girls. Yeah, 4.6 out of 10 IMDb, um, 14% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, that's pretty disappointing. It's yeah. This movie is just this movie was trash, dude. It's just a terror like it is a crappy remake. That's all it's gonna be is a crappy remake. And then we got another remake of the 2006 one, and this one is in 2019. This is another remake of the original Black Christmas. Um, and yeah, let's just look this one up because I this is recent. I'm surprised I haven't seen this one. This one came out about 4 years ago. Um, yeah, 2019. Uh, and yeah, I see why I didn't. It's got a 3.5 out of 10 IMDb score, and it's got 40% Rotten Tomatoes. Jesus Christ, that is terrible. Um, yeah, so yeah, the 2019 remake is also trash. Um, but yeah, there you go. So you got the Black Demon, another shark movie. Um, yeah, like I said, dude, I have nice things, nothing but nice things to say about shark movies. But if you mess up a shark movie, it's kind of hard to forgive you there. I mean, it's nothing that you can do. Yeah, this movie was just trash. I remember looking at this movie, um, a lot of killer shark horror movies and stuff. This movie it just didn't do it for me, dude. This movie is kind of trash. So this movie is also going into the D tier as well in the long continuous span of D tiers. Um, so yeah. So next we have the Black Phone, and I actually saw this movie when it actually first came out. This Ethan Hawke is amazing, dude. I love Ethan Hawke, dude. I remember him in Training Day, the first thing I saw him in with Denzel Washington. But Ethan Hawke is such a great actor, dude. And I feel like I don't really see him as a villain because I remember he was in The Purge and stuff, and he was like, I think he was like a good guy in that movie. But this movie really makes you hate Ethan Hawke because, I mean, he's just pretty much a man like twisted, and he abducts kids and kidnaps them and like keeps them in his basement and stuff, and he kidnaps this young boy who's got his sister. He lives with his sister, and he lives with his abusive dad and stuff, and his dad beats him and stuff, and it's all crazy and stuff. But it really works, dude, because this movie, I like the setting. This movie takes place in like the 80s or the 70s or something like that. But I really like this movie because it's not really a horror. It's not really much of a horror, but it's more like a thriller because you're pulling for this kid. You want him to escape from this man's house and stuff, and escape from the basement, and eventually get this man caught, Ethan Hawke caught and stuff. And I really like the whole atmosphere and stuff that Ethan Hawke, kidnaps these people and kidnaps these kids, and their spirits of the Black Phone kind of like resonates and stuff. But if you haven't seen this film, go check it out. This film is really good. The Black Phone. I'm gonna put the Black Phone in A tier because I really like this film. This film is awesome. I can respect it a lot, so I'm gonna put the Black Phone in A tier. Um, but yeah, and next we have the Blair Witch 2, which I haven't seen, but all I can say is it's a cash grab at the original success. That's what I'm saying. The original is one of the greatest movies of all time. With the found footage, the Blair Witch Project walked. It run so, or pretty much the Blair Witch Project, the Blair Witch 2 it ran so Blair Witch or Paranormal Activity could walk pretty much. So it was such an influential film, I think, in my opinion. But the Blair Witch 2, I feel like it's trash, dude. I definitely feel like it's trash. You can't really go wrong with the original. But like I said, the original definitely was influential at the time when it came out in '99. And I feel like it's gonna be influential forever, dude. So I'm gonna definitely say this film is, yeah, it's a classic. Then we got the Blair Witch Project 2016. I've never seen this. I've never seen this at all. And this movie doesn't even have, I don't even think it has a Rotten Tomato score. Oh, it's got a 38%. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, this movie is crappy. It's a crappy remake. Yeah. Yeah, I'm putting that in the D tier. Um, and next up we have The Blob. I've never seen The Blob. And we gotta see the Rotten Tomato score for The Blob. You know, yeah, it looks kind of stupid, but yeah, it's a 50s movie. It's a 50 horror movie. Oh, it's got a 68% Rotten Tomatoes, and it's got a 6.3 out of 10. Yeah, people like their old horror movies. They got their like them old horror movies. So I'm gonna put the Blob in. I'm gonna put the Blob in B tier. Yeah, I'm gonna put the Blob in B tier because it's old. It's an older movie, and yeah. So we got the 1988 remake of the Blob because the original came out in '58, and the remake came out in 1988. So let's check out the remake of the Blob, see how that did. And yeah, it's not bad. It's got a 64% Rotten Tomatoes, and it's got a 6.6 out of 10 IMDb score. I believe that's the girl from Dirty Dancing, I believe. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna put it in the B tier with the OG Blob. So yeah, they both B tier for, yeah, yeah, both B tier. So we got Bone Tomahawk with Kurt Russell. This looks like a western, but I didn't even know if it was. I didn't know it was a horror movie. Um, Bone Tomahawk, and it's a 2015 film. It's a 91. Wow, 91% Rotten Tomatoes. Um, I don't understand how this is a horror movie. Um, yeah, I don't really understand how this is a horror movie per se, but it's got a 91% Rotten Tomatoes and a 7.1 out of 10 IMDb score. So I'm gonna definitely say this movie is gonna be an A tier for sure. Not necessarily an S tier, but it is definitely up there as an A tier. Um, with the other ones. Um, but yeah, so next up we got the we're gonna stop at we get to yeah, we're gonna get to the end. We're gonna get to the end. We're gonna stop at we're gonna stop at right here, Brightburn. We're gonna stop there. So we got Boogeyman. This one recently came out. Boogeyman. This movie recently came out. I think it came out like a couple months ago, I believe. Um, yeah, the Boogeyman. So yeah, I checked this movie. This movie, oh, see, uh, this movie's got a 60% Rotten Tomatoes, so and it's got a 5.9 out of 10 IMDb score. Um, yeah, dude, like I said, yeah, this movie, The Boogeyman wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. I remember looking at this movie a little bit, and yeah, dude, it's just a C tier for me, in my opinion. The Boogeyman is in the C tier. It's not good. It's just average, you know. It's just average. Um, then we got the Boy Two Brahms. Um, I've never seen the Boy, but I heard he's kind of like the male version, the boy version of Annabelle. Um, but the Boy Two, uh, yeah, I think Katie Holmes is in this movie. Yeah, Katie Holmes is in this movie. Um, 10% at 4.7 out of 10 IMDb score. Um, but yeah, dude, yeah, this movie is definitely straight trash. This movie is straight garbage. Um, yeah, D tier, absolutely. And then we got the boy. We got the original boy. Um, don't know much about this movie. I've never seen. I haven't seen even seen the original one. So why would I see the second one? Yeah, let's see. 2016. I think. Let's see. Lauren Cohen. And there's 30%, but it's got a 6 out of 10 IMDb score. So I'm gonna put this film in the. It's got the audience score is helping it a little bit, so I'm gonna put it in the. I'm gonna put it in the. Put it in the C tier. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the C tier. Yeah, and we got Brain Scan. I've never seen this movie. This movie sounds interesting. Brain Scan. I've never seen it. It looks old. 94. Yeah, 13%. It's got a 13% Rotten Tomatoes. IMDb 6 out of 10. Um, yeah, kind of trash. Not even gonna lie, kind of trash. Yeah, it's got a cool poster though. 13% Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, it's a D tier for Brain Scan. Then we got The Bride of Frankenstein. We're getting to the OGs now. Um, The Bride of Frankenstein, 1935. Jesus Christ, that is before World War II, bro. I think that's before World War One. See, 98% Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, that's a W. 7.8 out of 10 IMDb score. That's a classic. Bride of Frankenstein. That's a classic. You can't never go wrong. Wait, I just want to be. I'm curious, dude. When did World War One happen? Let's see, date. I know 1914 November to November 11, 1918. Oh, so yeah, yeah. The Bride of Frankenstein that took place after World War One. But World War Two took place in like the 40s or something. Yeah, yeah. But The Bride of Frankenstein, that is definitely going in the S tier. That is a definitely an S tier film. If I can get it up there, dude, what just happened? Oh, I don't know what just happened there. Let's see if I can get it up there. Wait, where did it go? Huh? Where did I put it? Oh no, this yeah, it's not supposed to go up there. Yeah, let me see. Let me move it up because it's not supposed to be in the C tier. It's definitely an S tier film. Uh, oh, there it is. Okay, so The Bride of Frankenstein is now an S tier. There we go. Okay, so S tier. And our last film for the part one of this. Oh, I don't know what keeps on going out of there. Okay, so the last film of this part one of the because we got 500. There's literally 500 horror movies right over here. This can take all night. I gotta go to bed, y'all. Brightburn. This movie came out. I saw this movie. This movie is this man. This kid is like the evil Superman. This is like this movie pretty much states if Superman became evil. Like if Superman was evil, this would what he would be. Like this is pretty much what he would be. He would be like an evil Superman. And this movie really works for me because this kid like kills people like without regard, and his family, his mother takes him in and stuff and raises him as her own and stuff, and it really is heartwarming. But when you realize this kid is like he's an alien that doesn't really know the world and stuff, and he thinks the world is out to get him because he's different and stuff. It really works, and I love this film. This film is really. I hope they make a Brightburn too, but if they don't, then that's really cool. But this movie is definitely awesome, and I'm gonna put this movie in the A tier because it's really good. I like this film a lot. I enjoyed it. I like enjoyed like he's supposed to be like an evil Superman, um, instead of like your typical hero knight in shining armor. So yeah, put Brightburn in the A tier. Yeah, but that is it tonight, guys. Thank you for watching this stream. I love you all. Peace out.